Good day, and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. So in this video, we are going to take a look at the Extreme Z battle that's just come out for the AGL Tapion. He is the Giant Form category lead that is now getting a boost from an Extreme Z battle. He's getting an Extreme Z Awakening. So yeah, looks pretty good. Connected Hope, Super Tech, and Extreme Tech are the effective categories. He becomes pretty good after his EZA. The Giant Form category lead becomes Key +3, HP attack and defense of 160%. The effect stays the same, the Giant Form +1 turn for all allies. And then he gains attack and defense of 120%, reduces damage received by 50%, and gains attack of 80% when he is below 50% health. There's no change to his Giant Form as far as I understand, but just those changes in general will make him way more effective for basically any content that he's in, and he becomes super tanky. There are some additional missions: clear a stage 10 or higher on less than 50 seconds, clear a stage on 20 or higher on less than a minute 45, and clear a stage 3 or higher with Connected Hope category allies in your team. Other than that, let's get to it. So the main thing is there's only one Connected Hope category lead, that is the Pycon, the AGL Pycon, or Pakuhan, as most people call them. Beyond that, you're going to be kind of strapped for options. So you're going to have to think of some ways to kind of work around it. Two of the ways that I can suggest for people to work around it is either you go for the Super Saiyan category by using the Namek Goku. The only problem there is Namek Goku is not going to be really effective later on in all the categories. Worthy rivals as well with the physical Vegeta won't be so bad, but physical also drops off later on. Otherwise, you can take the full power SS4 Goku. He's going to be really solid because he has a tech type sub lead at 90% and the full power category at 150%. A Res Warriors team with the free-to-play Oob, or you go like I am with the AGL Vegeta here, who's got a AGL tech and physical type leader skill of 80%. The SS3 Gotenks will also be super helpful for this event, but yeah, beyond that, there's a couple options that we can take. Don't take any strength or physical type units and focus mainly on taking int, tech, and AGL, as those categories and typings remain effective the whole way throughout. The top units that I would suggest here are going to be Nail, Oob, SS4 Goku. Master Roshi is one of the most excellent units for this stage. His attack does so much damage and he just obliterates Tapion. And if you do have him, obviously max SA, I don't. I'm waiting for the event to return. You can take the SS3 Gotenks that EZAs. He will be really good in terms of damage. But that's going to be about it in terms of team building. It's not so much. The only other real way really would be to either take a full Super Tech team, which you can do, of course. You can take a Super Tech team. You probably will be fine. The EZA doesn't seem like it's the toughest one out there. So you definitely can take a full Super Tech team if that is your strongest option. I would refrain from taking a full Extreme Tech team because there's not any Connected Hope category characters in there. I would definitely at least take 2 or 3 Connected Hope category characters, just because you want to maximize that kind of damage and that kind of mitigation that you can do. The AGL Vegeta is a really good tank throughout the entire thing. The friend Pakuhan is going to be great. Make sure you get the 3 normal orbs with them for the buff, because that's really going to help all the units on rotation. Full power Goku does drop off a little bit near the end, but beyond that, this team does perfectly fine. I did toy with taking the free-to-play SS3 Goku, but he's just not good enough. His stats just aren't there. His passive's just not there. He just takes too much damage, and he doesn't really dish any out. You're better off taking an int unit or an AGL unit or anything else really. So we're looking at level 10 here. Obviously none of the typings have really changed. Pretty much everything is still effective against them, as long as it's Awakened or a Connected Hope category unit. We're still using Pakuhan. We're going to use Pakuhan the whole way through. He is the best one for this. Master Roshi does a insane amount of damage. Cannot highlight how good Master Roshi is in this. He's really one of the top units that I have for this event. He does a lot of damage. He's really rock solid, and yeah, especially when you get the passive buff from Pakuhan, he does like 2.5 million, at least mine does, with 2 dupes in them, which is really good, and he tanks quite well. Obviously after his super, he doesn't do the most damage, and he can take quite a bit of damage, so you do just want to be a little bit careful where you place him, because after he supers he's going to take a nice chunk of damage, nothing too crazy, but he'll start taking like 30-40k near the end, which you obviously want to be careful of. But beyond that, you know, everything is perfectly fine. He is more than okay at everything. We missed out on the mission by 1 second there. It took too long, so yeah. But yeah, this team does great. I think the Super Saiyan option's okay as long as you keep the Namek Goku out of the way. But I definitely think your best option will be to look for a Super Tech, or to go with something like this where you have at least an 80% lead or that across the board. Otherwise, Oob's pretty good. So AGL Tech and Int are now the only effective ones from level 20 onwards. Can't be sealed, can't be stunned, can't have attack and defense reduced. So we're really just, you know, obviously now moving solely on how much damage we can do. Pakuhan's still the best lead. Nail's doing okay at this point. SS4 Goku's starting to take some damage. And the free-to-play Piccolo that assimilates with Nail is also starting to take some damage. Oob is holding up really well. Vegeta is holding up really well. Vegeta holds up excellently throughout the entire thing. This is a rainbow Vegeta. But I think a Vegeta with like a dupe or anything in him, or even just a plain Vegeta, probably holds up just as well. He tanks perfectly fine the whole way through, so I don't have any problems. His damage is pretty but beyond that, he's, you know, quite fine. This SS4 Goku starts to take a little bit of damage from the normal attacks. His defense just isn't quite there. Mine is a 55% copy though, so it's not something, you know, that's, how do I say, you know, someone might have a Rambo one that does a tremendous amount of damage, and that's perfectly fine. So yeah, overall, pretty good, pretty easy. It wasn't that hard, it wasn't even that grindy. None of the stages were intensely difficult. I did have a little bit of a problem sometimes when I didn't get enough ki for Master Roshi. Or maybe I got like Piccolo with SS4 Goku with a Master Roshi who then supered. And, like, I could take a little bit of damage sometimes for sure. But beyond that, I wasn't really threatened that much throughout the entire, you know, Extreme Z battle run. So, yeah, if you do obviously want to go for this, please do. If you do want to awaken Tapion, I will do a review video on him. But it's definitely worth it just for the stones alone. And I don't think it's particularly hard. Not from what I've experienced here. Everything went quite smoothly. I didn't fail, nothing went too bad, nothing took too long. The most we got to was about 2 minutes a stage. So yeah, pretty easy. Pretty easy and pretty straightforward. So obviously we're now at stage 30. You know, same as before, agility, tech, int, connected hope category. Immune to sealing, immune to stunning, immune to attack and defense reduction. At this point, the Piccolo assimilated with Nail will be taking damage. The SS4 Goku full power will be taking damage. It's unavoidable. If you have other units, like the SS3 Gotenks I think is a really good option here. But beyond that, you should be fine. They won't take enough damage, especially if you have like the high damage of Master Roshi. They won't take enough damage to have or cause you that many problems. The Oob as well also will heal you as well. So if you don't have this Oob yet, please do grab him. He's excellent for this, you know, Extreme Z battle, but he's just really good in general. You're going to see him take a hit here. He's not going to take that much damage. 30k, so he tanks really well the whole way through. He provides his heal if you get into a tough rut. He creates rainbow orbs. He's just really solid. He's always been a really solid option. He's always been really good. And yeah, overall, just, yeah, super impressed with him. Pakuhan, really good. No complaints here. Nail does alright. Damage is a little bit low, obviously, without a Piccolo. But, you know, he tanks perfectly fine. He links pretty well with Pakuhan. And he fills in the slot on the team. So definitely someone you're going to want to take. And then beyond that, yeah, so Piccolo, this is pretty good. We'll get to see how much damage Piccolo and obviously the SS4 Goku take. The nice thing about Piccolo is he also has a heal, so it's not too big an issue when he takes damage. It's just mainly more that he doesn't, after about stage 20, he starts to really reduce in efficiency, but you know, that's perfectly fine. Vegeta, we can see there doing obviously as best he can. He's not really a damage dealer until he takes a couple hits, until he dishes out a couple super attacks. And then Goku doing some decent damage, but you can see he's starting to take, you know, 20k a hit, nothing too bad, but obviously not the greatest. And then Piccolo, double super attack, won't stop him taking quite a bit of damage. Same thing about 20k. So not the end of the world. It's not like Piccolo is costing us or anything. The team's not really in this massive danger zone. It's just obviously not necessarily like those units aren't necessarily helping you finish the event faster, basically. But yeah, this Extreme Z battle really wasn't that bad. I had no real issues with it. Obviously, I do have the luxury of having Master Roshi, who I think helped a lot with making it faster. But I think if you have any decently tanky tech unit, you will be able to beat this event with the other units here. I don't think any of them have specifically let me down. I think I didn't use Oob's heal once, but I did use Piccolo's heal once. We got below 50% once, and we got really unlucky in that one. So, yeah, but there you go. Stage 30 cleared. Not too bad either. Everything pretty straightforward. 2 minutes 42 seconds, so really nothing crazy. Could probably farm some Zenny from this if you have Pakuhan as a lead. There's definitely a good enough team here to, you know, if you've got the correct leads, to farm this stage. It doesn't seem too hard. You could definitely farm, you know, 15-30 mil out of it. And yeah, but Tapion's the main reward here, the 30 stones of course, and obviously the awakening for Tapion. So we'll definitely take a look at him in another video. But I'll leave on screen his awakening here. And yeah, let me know how you guys found it in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Until then, cheers, stay safe, and bye.